It's a great collection that's going to sell. Randy Rollifson's collection here at, well, Abilene Machine, Solomon, Kansas. You need to see some of the unique tractors that will be sold right here the 4th of June. Randy, when did you start collecting them?
We started collecting these tractors back in the 80s.
And some of these are pretty special.
They are some very special tractors here. I've got, well, for example, I've got a 4020 LP Power Shift Standard. And by the books that I'm reading, it's the only one built in '64. And I've got several of the '64s where they got still use the 4010 serial number, the very first few months they built them. And I've got several of them that are standards, and there were 435 total built. And there's probably 3 or 4 of them over there in the building.
I noticed you were a little bit partial to John Deere in that lineup of tractors, but let's go back a little ways. Let's just back up a little ways. Your business here, Abilene, talk a little bit about your location and how you got started in the parts business.
Well, we got started here with Lauren Engel was my original partner. And Lauren was from South Dakota. I'm from South Dakota originally. That's where I grew up. And worked for Lauren when I was in high school. And he came down here in 1970, about the time I got out of high school, the year I got out of high school. And I came down here with Lauren and started Solomon Electric. And I ended up going back to South Dakota and coming back with Lauren in 1980 and started Abilene Machine.
He must have been a special guy. He made quite an impression on you.
He was a very special guy. Yeah, he was.
You learned a lot from him.
I learned a whole lot from Lauren. Yeah, he knew the tractor business and the combine business very well.
Your parts business all over the United States. Do you export some too?
Oh yes, we export. We sell every state in the United States. We have a location in South Carolina. We have a warehouse in Sioux Falls. Then my nephew Todd runs that location in Sioux Falls.
You enjoy the relationship with farmers through your business?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Talk about that a bit.
Well, it's just, I'm a farm boy. I grew up on a farm, and it's nothing like, when you see something tragic happens on the farm, I always enjoy watching neighbors help neighbors. You know, when I was a kid, we felt silage together. I mean, that was the way neighbors did. We don't see as much of that anymore as we used to, but it's still there. And when you're a farm boy, you're a farm boy.
Let's talk about auction day itself.
Okay.
4th of June is when it all happens right here.
Yes,
You're not far off the interstate. You're easy to get to. It's just a little ways down the road for folks, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We're just, we're between Abilene and Solomon, Kansas.
You know, one more thing that comes to mind. Folks might want to put together a parts list.
It wouldn't hurt.
Seriously.
Yes, exactly.
When you're making that trip, that's something you ought to consider. Put together the list of parts you're going to need when you come on out here and
yes,
be prepared to bid on the tractors.
Yes. If they would get us the list in advance, we could have the stuff ready to go.
That makes a lot of sense,
yes,
all the way around.
Exactly.
From every standpoint.
Yes.
Let's talk about more of those special tractors. Now, I saw more than one John Deere LP in that lineup.
There are. There's some late serial number LP tractors in there. There's a 72 gas tractor that came out of Beatrice, Nebraska. That I don't know. In 72 and 4020 gases, there wasn't that many. I might have to look at my notes. I'm thinking there was 30 or so. And there's a 4010 gas standard that looks like there was like 11 or 12 of them built. I mean, and there's some red stuff in there too.
I noticed that, yeah.
There's a lot of front wheel drive red tractors there. Some V8s, or some old 14, 15, 68s.
What's that again?
There's some 14 and 15, 68s.
Oh, I'm trying to hear you.
And there's some 14, 56s, and there's some really nice red tractors. And the thing about our tractors is there's work orders in all of them where you can go online and see what's been done to them.
The maintenance that's been done over the years, you've tracked that, you've kept records.
Yes. When the restoration, we can show you what's been done to them, how many hours it was spent in the body shop. You know, it doesn't take anything at all to spend I think our shop rate on the body shop over the years averages in that $60, $70 an hour range, which is it really costs you more than that to make ends meet, but You're going to see most of them work orders on them tractors are going to run from 7,500 to 15,000 in just the paint work.
This is a great opportunity because I know so many folks, you know, they're looking to buy and they think, oh, you know, do I want to invest that much time in working on it? I've got several of the tractor guys I ran into at Davenport, for example, at the most recent auction said, I've got this project, I've got this one, I'll never get them all done. This is a great answer. I mean, they can just pick up a good tractor without having to do much to it.
They're here. They're very nice tractors. The wiring has got new wiring harnesses, most of them. The workers will explain it. We'll show you what, if you're interested, what you want to see. I mean, what's there.
Excellent. The focus has been on muscle tractors, I've noticed, in the build up to this auction. A lot of talk about muscle tractors. You have them, but they're not all exclusively what you'd say are muscle tractors, right?
Well, you know, we're always been dealing in higher horsepower tractors, so to speak, in our country here. We don't have a 4020, 3020, there's a few of them in the bunch. But primarily our business has always been higher horsepower tractors.
100 north, 100 horsepower?
Yes. I have some, there's some low production 30, I think there's a 3010 and a 3020 standard LP. I think they're 30, 40 of them made. I mean, there's several of them really low production tractors there.
I know you keep coming back to the green paint, but let me hasten to point out, I saw a Case 1200.
Then that is a beautiful tractor.
It sure looked like it. Talk to me about it.
Well, the 1200, you know, there's a 4156 sitting there too, but the 1200 is special. I mean, it was a lot of work to restore that tractor. I mean, I'd have to pull the work order and look at it, but we've got a lot of hours in that tractor. But if you look at it, you can see it's been done right.
What else should we know? Is there anything else that comes to mind as you invite all of these folks to come out to your place? It's just going to be a wonderful gathering of tractor people.
I hope so. I think that everybody's going to enjoy what they see here. We spent a lot of years and a lot of hours restoring these tractors. I've looked at a lot of other collections. I don't feel like I've seen anything as good as ours. I don't want to sound like but our guys have done a really nice job. I mean, they've taken it real serious. They built these tractors back the way they should be. I'm proud of them. They're nice tractors.
I saw a little Massey Ferguson in that bunch.
Well, there's a Super 90 there's going to be a Super 90 in that bunch that sells. But I got another one in the shed I'm keeping.
Oh, you're holding back on us.
There's one.
What's the story on that one?
Well, this one that I grew up on a Super 90 Massey when I was a kid on the farm in South Dakota, and I have one restored, and it's nice. I'll have to show it to you, Max, but it's a nice tractor. But that's the only one I'm going to keep. It's time for the rest of them to go down the road. So,
such a treat to visit with you, sir.
Well, it's been good to see you guys too.
Well, you folks come out June 4th, right out here, Solomon, Kansas. Well, let's see. Let's put it on the map again. That's between Abilene and Salina.
Yes, and the little town Solomon's right here close.
Just off the interstate.
Yes.
Can't miss it.
Easy to find.
Appreciate it, sir.
Follow the signs.
So nice to visit with you.
Good to visit you.
June 4th, 10 a.m. I think is when it starts, but come out early so you can check the tractors and visit with the folks in bed.